What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Getting Kicked in the Nuts. Now, here is the thing. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a $10,000 water bill. Okay? $10,000 water bill. So, how do you find out that you have a $10,000 water bill when your gym averages about $70 to $100 a month per gym is what the average water bill is, right? The only time we really use water inside of the gyms is the drinking fountain or the toilet's flushing, right? So that's literally it. We don't use water for anything else. So how in the hell do you get a $10,000 water bill? Well, let me tell you the story in today's episode. So we get a call the other day from one of our administrators who's saying, hey, there's somebody from the city here threatening to shut off our water if we don't pay our past due bill. We don't have past due bills. We pay all our bills on time. How much is the bill? $10,000. Now, keep in mind, we already paid $2,000 to this location because our neighbor decided to mess with the water pipes, and you can literally see the new concrete where they had the people out without the landlord's permission, right? And then, while they were fixing their pipe, magically our pipe broke. So we had water running, gushing from the city for a month before we noticed, and then we saw the meter spinning like this, right? And so we had somebody out, we got it fixed. They had to rip up the concrete again, pour new concrete. Landlord knew about it, got it taken care of, blah, blah, blah. So all of a sudden, there's somebody from the city saying, hey, and we had already had like a stupid high bill, but what you do is when you have a really high bill like this, so just so you guys know, because this is brick and mortar business, and I know a lot of you gurus and influencers who just, you sell something online and you think that you own a business. This is how real business ownership happens, brick and mortar. Brick and mortar, people who own brick and mortar businesses will run circles around any online cuck ever, ever, ever. It's impossible not to because you don't know shit about real problems, okay? The amount of actual physical issues that you deal with having physical employees, a physical location, physical bills, physical rent, walls, lights, utilities, all of it, you don't know nothing. So please don't ever tell me you're an entrepreneur when that's all you do. Now, you might make more money than me, that's great, but I'll run circles around you at literally anything. So anyway, back off my soapbox for a minute. We get this bill. So we call, right? My wife calls and goes, hey, what's going on? Like, we got this bill. We're already under an investigation, right? So you do a credit, and then they have a 6-month period where where they'll credit the bill and refund, and this whole process, right? It's just this absolute insanity. And of course, the lady on the phone goes, well, today all of our managers who would be able to help with this problem are in a training all day. So they're literally not available. So your only options are to have your water shut off, pay the bill, or come down to City Hall in person. So, luckily, my wife was already out in Cape Coral, and so she went out to City Hall. And so basically what we had to do was we had to pay $500 for them to not turn our water off while we gave them an extra 2 months to go through and figure out the problem and then recredit us on our account for the previous $2,000 and then go through the audit for the $10,000 bill, which obviously isn't our fault, right? So that's the process, right? So, right, and then they said literally, hey, typically, we can lower these down about 75, 85%, but you're still going to be responsible for something, but that's typically how these things work. So, and then they said, what we'll do though is we'll credit your account for the balance that you pay moving forward. So we showed them our water bills. We're like, listen, this is $70 to $100. So even if we pay you $2,000, we're prepaying for like 2 years of water. Like, that's obscene. Now, I understand if you're a restaurant or even like you're next door, like the nail salon, right? They probably go through quite a bit more water. They got to fill the feet things up. They got to do all the water stuff. They got to clean out all the stuff. Like, I would assume that they probably go through quite a bit of water. So it makes sense for them to make sure that all their stuff works. But for us, like, I was half tempted to just say, shut the fucking water off. We'll just say the bathrooms are out of order. We'll just say drink fountain doesn't work. Like, if you want to take a shit, go down to Publix, right? Because we have a Publix in our plaza. So it's like, I was almost at that point. I'm like, I'm not paying a $10,000 water bill, like, ever in the history of ever. I would literally be prepaying for water for the rest of my life at that location. It makes no sense. And again, and then the next process is then you have to go back through the city again, and they're all at a training, right? And then you have to get your water turned back on, and then you have to deal with the bill, which they take 6 months to go through and audit their process to figure out what happened. 6 months. Now, is that your backlog, or is that just how many issues you have that's how long it takes? Or is like what? How does it take 6 months to look at a bill and say, oh, yeah, here's all the averages. There was an underground pipe that burst. Yeah, this obviously is a credit situation. And again, this is what happens, but you have to go through it. You have to pay all these bills. You have to deal with all this stuff. And that, my friends, is today's episode, getting kicked in the nuts. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.